Hey everybody, welcome back to Bunny Data and the WeLikeDota Community Night. Tonight we have a Captain's Mode game for you, and joining me tonight, as he has so frequently in the recent past, my great co-caster TugzMcBoat. Would you like to say hi to the audience?
Game 2, motherfuckers, let's play some Dota! Yeah!
Oh my god, you are on it tonight! Alright.
Came over me.
Hey, you know, I love the enthusiasm. That's awesome.
I hope your kids weren't nearby and they could hear that. Earmuff, young bunnies. Earmuff.
I appreciate that, but no, they've gone off to bed, so we're safe. So anyway, we have apparently Arteezy is the best versus Fifth Appendage. I like that people are flying their team flags here.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I need to come up with my own team. It'll be similar to like 4 ASC, 4 anchors and a sea captain, but mine will just be boats and hoes.
Oh my goodness.
It'll be boat and hose because I'm the only boat, and then the other 4 people on my team will be my hose.
Oh my, I am not joining your team. No offense, sir.
If any of you are an artist out there and you want to come up with some team logos, get in touch with me. We'll make it happen.
Wow. You know, I was going to offer to help you with your team banners and stuff, but no, I think I'm good. On the other hand, shout out to Pretty Bunnies. I hear he wants to join your team.
There we go. See?
Yeah, yeah.
1 hoe in the bank.
That's right.
Hoe number 1. 3 more hoes, listeners.
All right.
I know we have at least 200 subscribers. That's a possible 197 available hoes out there.
Nice. Okay.
See that quick math I did there? 200 minus 3?
You and your Dota math. I can't keep up.
Crazy. All right, let's get to the picks.
Sure.
So on the Dire side, we have first bans out on Axe and Sniper, followed by a Troll and Techies. I don't know who has this vendetta against Techies on the Dire team. I feel like the last couple weeks I've seen random Techies bans, but
yeah, what is up with that? I have seen Techies banned in the.
Someone just has some Techies hurt someone in the past, and they just don't want to deal with it. And because I don't think anybody on the Radiant or the Dire side are like a pronounced Techies player that I'm unaware of.
Yeah. I've never heard of anyone being a master Techies player that just has a respect ban against them all the time. Like.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Dire pickup, Vengeful Spirit, and Lion, 2 of the best supports in the game. Fifth Appendage for Radiant picked up the Windrunner and the Warlock. Windrunner has seen some play, mostly mid. The single target burst is like at a 6 slotted level, honestly probably the best in the game. But usually not first pick material, and the Warlock doesn't get played too much at all. I think I've only seen him once or twice in the past month or so. But definitely, I mean, definitely a team fight oriented hero. And if the opposing lineup, he's kind of more of a last pick, because if the opponent's lineups don't really have good like movement based skills, that upheaval is just god awful to fight into.
Oh yeah, it sure is. That slow just builds to massive levels.
Right. So it's I think it's better as kind of like a niche pick towards the end if you notice that the enemy team doesn't have a lot of heroes that have mobility based spells. So like the Dire banned out the Centaur. The Centaur would actually be a great pick. You know, if they don't want to play against it or they don't want to play it, you know, that's always their prerogative and their call. But like the Centaur is just an astounding counter to Warlock. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And also, any sort of natural diffusal carrier, instantly negates
his golems.
Warlock's ult.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Faceless Void.
Warlock definitely a good hero, but I think he's one you want to hold off to the end.
Yeah, I suppose so. Before that Faceless Void pickup, I was going to say, Windrunner and Warlock also are decent pushers. So.
Yep, they're both good.
They could swing into a push lineup on the Radiant side.
Yeah, I like the golems more for because if you see the golems coming,
Mm-hmm.
like they're actually pretty easy to kite and kill off.
Yeah,
They're
they're a
more
little
of like
slow.
drop the rock. They're now in upheaval. You can't run away, and they deal an insane much ton of damage. You really use them to push kind of after the team fight has ended, and you've got you got like 10 or 15 seconds left where they can just wail on towers. So you don't really want to use the ults to push towers unless you're trying to like siege high ground and you've got a refresher and you just drop two right on top of it just because
Yeah,
then you force the other team to respond. But
that's
um,
exactly what I was gonna say. Is you're exactly right. Once you have like Ag's refresher, then yeah, sieging high ground makes life a lot easier once he has those. But
yeah, but they do have a lot of disables on the dire side, so any sort of upheaval, should be canceled fairly immediately between Magic Missile, Hex, Earthspike, RP, and Stone Gaze.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's going to be really hard for the Warlock to
Sustain the
hold up an
upheaval.
upheaval. Even if he gets a BKB, he's got to fight through. He'd have to fight through Stone Gaze and RP.
Yeah, I think his only option would be like grabbing a Shadow Blade or something, but I don't really think it's worth it.
No, it's not. I mean, you're not gonna delegate that much farm to a warlock when you have a Windrunner,
Right.
Faceless Void, and a Timbersaw who are gonna take higher farm priority over the warlock. So,
Mm-hmm.
he can opt to go the non-upheaval build and max out his heal, which I actually don't know the Shadow Word
Yep.
and Fatal Bonds, and
Yeah.
he can go that route, which I mean is definitely acceptable.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
viable.
I'm more of a fan of the upheaval spell. I think it's far stronger, but given the amount of disable that they have, it wouldn't be unheard of to go with Shadow Ward and Fatal Bonds build. So
Yeah, I think that actually might be better in this instance. You know, taking that audible and calling the Shadow Word and the Fatal Bonds instead. Um, actually, especially for the early game, because Shadow Word it actually is pretty good in terms of a spammable um, damage over time that is pretty
I
effective.
I think, and it's between Thunderstrike and Shadow Ward that it is the highest instance of not instance but highest single spell nuke in the game.
Wow.
Uh, because it does. I mean, it does 165 damage at level 1.
Yeah, that's great, especially
Um,
for the mana cost.
right. Yeah. No, it's a very, very efficient nuke at level 1. Problem is, it's DOT, and it's a long DOT.
Sure.
So you've got that to deal with. But yeah, as far as level 1 goes, that is it's between that or Thunderstrike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is the single highest, and I think Dagger from Queen of Pain is up
Oh
there as
yeah,
well.
that one's really good too. Yeah, but those do translate to kills if you can harass an opponent down to a point where they're killable, and that's
Sure.
that's part of the laning phase is just getting people within a strikeable distance in terms of their health pool.
Sure. I mean, and being able to spam out a spell that does that much damage against an offlaner, like you force them to take regen, and it's especially
Sure.
good if they run like a I got confused. For a second there, I thought Timbersaw was on the other team, and I was like, it's really good against the Timbersaw because his passive is armor based, and this is obviously magical damage, but it doesn't matter because he's on his team. So, um, but like if you are up against an offlaner who has high base armor or has a good regen ability, um, it's really good against those type of heroes.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the Radiant are going to go for a Tricore lineup, which is fine as long as the Magnus is able to make stuff happen after he hits 6. So I think you have to send the Magnus. I guess they're going to dual lane here. I think they have to dual lane. I don't really think you can solo off lane a Juggernaut or a Medusa unless they want to send the Magnus off lane and throw the Medusa mid, which I think is okay. But the Medusa is gonna get harassed pretty heavily by the Windrunner. Windrunner is a very strong mid.
Yeah, she is. Or a strong offlaner. But I guess they're gonna send the Broodmother offlane.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me just walk through the players and heroes here. We've got Busby on the Vengeful Spirit. Whoa, I need to get closer. Diddy Mitch is on the Juggernaut. And we've got Cheese Whiz on the Medusa. That makes sense. Cheese Whiz on Medusa. Happy combination. Heart557 is on Lion. Anarchies is on Magnus. On the Radiant side, we have Karma on Faceless Void. He plays a much better Faceless Void than I do. I'm terrible at that hero. Pretty Bunnies is on Broodmother, of course, is signature hero. Juice is on Windrunner, Rainbow Dash on the Warlock, and last but not least, somebody if I can find him with my camera, Psycho Chef. Oh, that makes sense. A psycho person on a Timbersaw. Sure. Why not?
There we go. So yeah, it does look like it's going to be a Medusa mid and a Magnus off lane. So I'm really expecting the Windrunner to do well in this lane and transition that into mid game. So, but anyways, looks like we got two standoffs at the rune. It does look like the Dire are going to pull off the top rune, and at the bottom rune we got the Magnus and the Lion. Lion with a
Ooh,
3-man Earth Spike, really well played right there, ensuring the rune there for the Magnus.
that was key. Wow.
That was really well placed. And
Yeah.
Magnus will grab the rune and head to the offline. Now, Magnus is not the greatest hero against tri-lanes. He does have an escape, so he does have that. He is relatively tanky. He's got a good base armor, and he does have a nuke to secure last hits, but he's a melee hero who he's slightly tanky, but he's not really tanky. And if they're able to get some pulls off, they should be able to zone him out. Oh, but it looks like they're going to run dual lanes, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
I'd actually prefer them to run a tri-lane with the, so that the Timbersaw does really well against melee heroes in lanes, so but we'll see how it plays out. And it looks like they're going to send the Broodmother mid? Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The problem is Broodmother is not going to be able to deny farm.
Yeah, the other problem is she's gross.
That too, and I really don't. So like, okay, he turned it off. He had split shot on for a second, and that's not the.
No, not in the
way
early
to
game,
play.
right.
I mean, it splits up your damage, which you don't have a lot of, and then
Right.
on top of that, you're pushing the wave.
Yeah, it's what, 80% damage outgoing if you
Yeah.
split it? Yep.
Yeah.
That just
I mean-
makes it more difficult to last hit for no reason, and also pushes the lane.
Right. I mean, you take your damage from like 52 to like 48 or 47, which I mean that's not insignificant. I mean that's like when you have to time your windows so low, that's the difference between taking a creep at like 40 HP and a creep at like 45 HP, and you just allow it so much easier for misplays on your part.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. You're just making your life harder for no reason. I guess that's the point of it.
Right. You don't want to push the lane, and then so you're like if you have a split shot on, you're pushing the lane and then you're making hard hit on yourself the last hit. Like both of those things you don't want to do. It looks like the Windrunner is going to be playing more of a harder support this game.
Gotcha. Well, she is nice and flexible. She can definitely play the hard support. It's
Sure.
not the worst thing in the world.
And they're able to get the first blood on the Timbersaw, so really well played right there. And then I am actually going to go grab a glass of water. My throat's quite dry, so
Yeah, go for it.
take over.
Okay.
Do me proud.
Oh no, I won't. I won't do that. I'll just babble incoherently. Yeah, so since I'm supposed to be taking over and doing something serious, instead I'm gonna look at hats. Let's see here. What kind of hats do we have on this Medusa here? It's got a special bow, I think. I think that head's normal. I think the tail is normal. I could be wrong about the tail. She has a couple of interesting, like, special tails in terms of her her equipment. This Broodmother, Pretty Bunnies, for as much as you play Broodmother, should have a special Broodmother, and I think that is a special kit. The red legs. Oh, and the back, that thorax? Is that what you call that thorax? The back portion of it? That's definitely special. Ooh. Oh no, Pretty Bunnies getting nuked down. Yeah, she got caught by the Mystic Snake, and that was just a lot of damage there.
Yeah. So the reason why Broodmother is strong in lane is because even with vision, as long as she doesn't take hero-based damage, she can run through trees. If you'll notice something about the entirety of the mid lane, aren't a lot of trees nearby.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes her a potent offlaner is her ability to stay within XP range and not get right-clicked. Not quite the same case in the mid lane. So
Yeah.
the fact that you've got a farming mid against basically a pure offlaner who really, gets her pancakes off of levels and staying in XP range against tri-lanes, not the greatest idea, I don't think.
No, I don't normally see a Broodmother mid. At least, you know, being mid, I think, she can play the high ground, like she would trees. But, oh,
Right.
standing out there, that was not really the best place to be.
No.
Oh, and now we've got an aggressive sentry ward. That's going to spell really a lot of disaster
Yep.
for this Broodmother in a second.
Yeah, if the same scenario, if this was the off lane, like she could just have trees that she could stay in and like not get hit, and then meanwhile she's just gonna get right clicked down by the Medusa, who really shouldn't be standing right there. She's gonna take a lot of creep damage right there, more so than she ever should have. She should just be harassing casually as she is. I don't think she should be trying to diving for kills. Like, she's a Medusa. Like, she shouldn't be trying to solo kill heroes. At least not for like another 40 minutes. Like, she should just be focusing on her farm. The fact that the Medusa only has like 9 last hits in 5 minutes is actually pretty bad.
Yeah, I agree. She actually just needs to farm. That's the game with the Medusa.
Looks like we're gonna have a jump down there. Last Shadow Ward's casted on the Timbersaw. He's gonna go down. Right click's coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. Juggernaut's chasing down. They already put down the Wave of Terror, but it seems to have worn off, and it looks like he's gonna get away.
Yeah, good timber chain.
So it looks like they did rotate the Lion back up like I thought they should have done to begin with. And the Magnus is now stuck on a solo off lane. Still able to get his XP. He is currently sitting at level 4, while the respective off lanes are sitting at 3 and 4. So he hasn't done too bad. It looks like he's going to grab this bottom rune, and the Broodmother should be able to secure top rune. Or no, it looks like Busby's going to come down here and secure it for the Broodmother. And the Medusa opting to not scale her ult, so it looks like they're going to dive on the Medusa here. She does see them both. I don't think Busby realizes that she is currently seen right now.
Oh boy.
And Pretty Bunnies is able to take down the Medusa. Oh,
Nice.
And here comes the nuke, and this follow up by the spiders.
So creepy.
That sentry ward there placed at the perfect time as the first one on the top of the hill, he saw the first one, and then when he went to the high ground he placed the second one, and that's when he went on the Vengeful Spirit. So really well played there by Pretty Bunny.
Yeah, good plays, but I still can't condone the spiders.
No. Kill all the spiders.
They're just inappropriate.
So I wish. Okay, so the Magnus has got a bottom. Okay. Yeah. See, that's good right there. The first shockwave that he sent out, he really only used to last hit. The second shockwave that he sent out right there was able to secure 2 CS and get some harassment on the Faceless Void. He did backtrack it, which is unfortunate, but I think that's the way you need to be playing it right now. He does have a bottle, so he's going to be going to bot room to grab some farm when he can, but pushing out this wave needlessly, like right there, it's just not needed. He didn't get a single last hit with that. He's not getting pressured in the lane. He should focus more on getting last hits than he should be spamming out shockwave. And it looks like the Broodmother is able to push down the middle tower. He's going to go on the Medusa again.
Oh
Medusa
boy.
used her ult, but it didn't stop Pretty Bunnies, and he's going to stop the chase. Doesn't have
Yeah.
enough webs.
Or enough speed.
TP in by the Magnus is able to mitigate that.
It's interesting how fast Broodmother regens, even though she doesn't have, like, boots or any other items.
Yeah, no, the webs. I don't know what the base regen is.
Uh-huh.
It's okay. It's 2. It goes up by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8.
Oh,
So, yeah.
I gotcha.
Mhm.
Interesting.
And looks like the Dire are going to continue to pull a little bit. Good for them. Juggernaut is at 6 right now. No creeps. It looks like Timber chains away at the last second. He is able to Omni Slash though, so he does not get Shadow Ward stuck on him. Deuce is able to follow up and is able to get a kill on a Timbersaw. Here comes the Lion chasing up, but he doesn't have anything left to cast on the. But then comes the Magnus with the RP. Really good skewer right there.
That was a mean skewer.
Radiant's top tower is taking hits. Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower? Radiant's gone and fortified their structures. Radiant's top tower is hurting. Dire's mid tower. Well,
Looks like the Timberson will throw out his chakram and be able to try to mitigate some of that damage out towards the Medusa and the Magnus, but finds himself really low, and it looks like he's gonna have to walk back to base again after just respawning. Meanwhile, Broodmother's gonna continue to push up this middle lane as hard as she can. Juggernaut's gonna find his way there. They do drop a sentry ward.
Missing top.
So it looks like the Broodmother is going to be committed to try to pushing down this middle lane as fast as possible. Magnus is able to miss the shockwave. They do have a sentry ward there, so they can see her right now if they're able to walk in.
I don't think she's been too afraid of showing her position. She's been really rushing tower a lot, and yeah, she's been trading off her safety for her ability to push. So very aggressive play.
Oh, I must have that. Okay, so that was actually the Radiant Sentry Ward, not the
Right.
the Dire Sentry Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look there. Well, now she shows herself. She's gonna get caught out. Magic Missile is able to hit in. Wave of Terror is not gonna come out. Nope, there comes the Wave of Terror. She's gonna. Here comes the ultimate ult by the.
Ooh.
Gonna get bursted down. Yeah, you're not invincible right there. She did
No.
throw out the Insatiable Hunger, but without being able to right-click down anybody, it's not really gonna do much. And with 4 heroes there, she found herself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the Dire also had a sentry all.
Yep, and then they had a right there.
Mm-hmm.
the Dire best do something about that bottom tower.
It looks like the Warlock is able to take top and almost killed the Juggernaut there, but not quite. With the Timbersaw is falling as well. In the mid lane, looks like they're going to be pushing up again. Magnus tries to skewer, but is able to miss it. Windrunner turning up a power shot, bringing up the Magnus really low. They're chasing down the Medusa, and it looks like
Whoa.
great magic missile there by the Vengeful Spirit. RP securing the kill on the Faceless Warrior right there, and the Medusa is able to walk away scot-free. Really well played right there, chaining up the magic missile followed by the stun, and then finally finishing it off with the RP before the Faceless Warrior was able to get off a chrono. It's really well played.
Yeah, don't normally recommend a single target RP, but that was worth it to save your hard late game carry.
Well, well.
And you guaranteed the kill with it too, but you know.
Well, he was pretty low, so I didn't realize how they weren't as low as I thought. I thought he was trying to do it so that the Void couldn't get off a Chronosphere and possibly.
Oh,
get a
I
double.
gotcha. Sure.
Medusa's
Wow.
super low and down to the spider again.
Wow, Medusa lost so much health so fast right there. Pretty Bunny's really taking advantage of her invisibility in the moment.
I mean, it's like, just because the Medusa went mid doesn't, or the spider went mid doesn't mean that you treat it any bit differently than you would your safe lane. You have to make sure you've got sentries up, or you have to have a gem. And if you don't see her on the map, assume she's there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that Medusa was playing without her mana shield on.
Yep, that also hurts too. What's really gonna suck is when the Broodmother gets her Orchid. If she's able to get Medusa to silence her before she puts up her mana shield,
Oh yeah,
she's
that'll
gonna
be
fall
trouble.
instantly. And it gets to that point where Medusa almost has to walk with it on at the entire time, which is really unfortunate because you do take some damage from creeps and you don't want to lose that. And meanwhile, the Juggernaut is gonna fall to the. There's a double kill on the Faceless Void. Really well played right there. Ooh, and the Broodmother's gonna.
Good skewer.
I think the Broodmother is going to fall down, and will the spiders get the Magnus? It looks like they do. They don't. That's the time trying to kill the spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Two really good team fights back to back.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that I usually play without my mana shield on all the time, especially when I'm farming.
Right,
It
as you
does drain
should.
your mana too much, yeah.
So when so if she finds herself farming in the mid lane with the Rune of the Wicked Orchid, like she has to play with it on.
I agree.
Which is unfortunate because any damage she does take from creeps is going to lower her
Mana
mana.
pool, right.
Yep.
And that does slow down her farm too, yeah.
So it looks like the Venge and the Juggernaut are going to try to get a kill here. If a Wave of Terror followed up by an Omni Slash on a solo hero.
Ooh, yeah.
Here comes the swap. And then Omni Slash. Oh, he jumps away.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't have enough for a magic missile. Here comes the Faceless Void, uses the Chronosphere.
Oh my, what a turnaround.
On the Vicious Spirit. He doesn't have enough damage. Here comes the
Blade Fury.
And the Magnus is gonna time lock walking. He's able to bring down the Venge.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
Juggernaut still chasing down the Warlock, bit by bit. Shadow Word, not enough.
Radiant's mid tower's in trouble.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they're going on the Spider now, but Timbersaw with the haste rune brings in Chakram out, able to burst down. Here comes the Whirling Death, split shot up. Hex is on the Lion. Looks like they're going to chase him down here. Another Chakram's been firing out, trying to deal out some of that pure damage. Great shackle shot by the Windrunner.
That was a great shackle.
Power shot, and Medusa falls again. Here comes the Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror out, able to reduce that armor on the Timbersaw, but it looks like they're going to back off for now. So at 16 minutes in, we already have 20 deaths. First spike. Looks like the Windrunner's gonna pop her ult. They wisely use the glyph. They're able to bring out the but a double
Oh,
shackle.
what a shackle.
Really nice shackle there. Magnus charges. He doesn't have RP up right now, so I don't know what he really thinks he's gonna do. Chakram is gonna slow him down a little bit. And Nuke by the Spider is able to bring down the Vicious Spirit. Oh, but there's a Finger of Death. Not quite enough. This Chakram's gonna hit him.
Oh.
No, he's just off the mark.
If that had connected, that would have killed him.
They don't have vision of it right now, and he's just gonna stay in this lane between the Shadow Ward. Oh, they do spot him out though. Looks like the Spider's trying to do some chip jams. Oh, and the Shockwave hit. Here comes the Rock though, dropped up, started upheaval and then stopped it. And the ulti by the Medusa, trying to keep the Spider away. He's gonna fall away. The Golem is gonna chase down the Magnus, but he's gonna be able to get out just fine. But the Medusa really needs to get back here. Spider is on her heels. Here's the right click, and the slow is applied. She still has the mana shield up, and it looks like she'll be able to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in the meanwhile, we lost the. Looks like there was a kill on the Faceless Void.
Oh boy. I missed it.
I did too. Juggernaut.
Yeah, Juggernaut took him down.
And didn't even use his ulti to do it.
Wow.
He must have found him out in the jungle at low health.
Mm-hmm.
Every coin helps.
Looks like the Windrunner is going to go and scout out the dire jungle. If she had turned right, she would have found a Juggernaut, but alas, she went left and is going to farm out that stack a little bit. In the mid lane, Pretty Bunnies is still applying pressure, and Medusa is still farming. I really want, especially because there are no webs in the jungle, I'd really like to see this Medusa transition to the
Ooh, big
jungle
dust.
more. And they found the Spider. There's more right clicks. Ooh, missed RP. They're still gonna get the kill though, so I guess it's not that wasted considering you wanted to use it anyways. But
Sure.
never a good feeling when you whiff an RP.
No. With any ultimate, actually. That was a really strong dust. I almost wonder now, now that Diffusal Blade is no longer a unique attack modifier, is that something you think maybe Broodmother should pick up every now and again? Just to purge the dust off themselves?
Yeah, I think that's a fine idea.
I just wonder, because...
The thing is, the special thing about Broodmother as opposed to say like Ricky or a Clinks or someone like that is if she gets caught out, like all she has to do is run into trees.
Oh,
Now,
gotcha.
they do have a Magnus who, once he gets his Blink Dagger, can blink RP and skewer her back into the lane.
Mm-hmm.
So a little different scenario there. But yeah, in general, if you just get, as long as you're not taking hero damage, just run into the trees.
I gotcha. Because that cuts off the vision, then you're safe.
Right. But now you can't do that if you take hero-based damage though. So that's a key difference.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd like to see the Medusa kind of, because the Juggernaut can more or less take care of himself in lane. I'd like to see the Medusa in the jungle and the Juggernaut out in the lane a little bit more. But this Juggernaut's going to do disgusting damage once Empower's up on the Magnus. And given that it was an offlane Magnus, I really would have liked to have seen more levels in Empower than Skewer.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't really had to use a full length Skewer yet, so maybe like 1 or 2 levels in that, and then maxing out the Empower to just increase the farm rate on the Juggernaut and Medusa, I think would have been a good play.
Yeah, I think teamwork-wise, that would have worked out a lot better. You know, I saw EG play that over at MLG Columbus, and that was really strong.
So we have Medusa's ult, trying to catch out the Timbersaw, not quite going to get him to turn into stone. Power shot out by the Windrainer, and they're just going to back off. So Medusa's ult is down. It looks like they're wanting to go on this Warlock here, who's being really greedy, just staying down in this bottom lane. Magnus is trying to ping him out. It looks like the line is going to rotate over. So let's see. Still playing up as the Warlock. I think they missed their opportunity there. I think that they'd just been a little quicker to the trigger, they would have gotten a kill.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to waste an RP there. I think if you just blink behind him, Warlock's so slow, you should be able to skewer him up into a Lion who could then hex, Mana Drain, Earth Spike, and then Finger of Death. Warlock should die before he gets anything off. But the Spider's able to take down the safe lane, so now the Dire's jungle is going to be really susceptible to spiders, to power shots, to voids that are faceless.
Ugh, scary.
Oh, and it looks like she's going to go on the Juggernaut, but with all her spiders, that Omni Slash basically deals no damage. He really should spin. Here comes the Magnus RP to save the Juggernaut. Really good RP right there.
Oh yeah.
In such a defensive manner, but I think he had to.
I think so too.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Yeah, the Juggernaut should immediately Omni Slash, or he shouldn't have Omni Slash just with all the spiders. He should have immediately
Just in his Blade Fury or whatever.
Blade Fury and then TP'd out.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to see an Orchid on the Broodmother, to be honest with you. It's so good this game. Between the Medusa and the Juggernaut, having an Orchid would have secured her easily a couple kills by now instead of a Yasha.
Oh, sure. I wouldn't be surprised if she does build Orchid coming up after that. I've seen Pretty Bunnies play Broodmother with Orchid before,
Okay.
so he knows the utility of it.
Yeah, he's going for the non-boots Yasha build. Not a
Sure.
bad idea.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind it at all. I think I'd like to see him get treads at some point, but looks like he's gonna transition. He's setting up his own sentries. Looks like the Juggernaut finally has some power on it, but it's only a level 1. Radiant lane getting pinged out. Looks like the an Invis room is on the Timbersaw. And it looks like the Dire are gonna go spider hunting. There's the Dust, she's able to catch him out, and unfortunately she's just gonna get right clicked down by the first spike coming up on the Lion. Here comes the Snake. Not able to kill off all the spiders, and it looks like it's gonna get hunted down by the Medusa. Medusa then ult. Here comes the Hex. Earth Spike. But they've lost vision. And at this point they need to get out. This Broodmother's about to go ham on this Lion. Incapacitating bite, so she's going to be able to regen up a little bit. Now on the Medusa, who's lost all of her mana, so Mana Shield does nothing right now. Earth Spike again. There comes the Hex, and they're able to get out pretty scot-free, but they did lose the Vigilance Ferret, and somewhere along the ways, the Magnus and the Juggernaut died. It looks like...
Yeah, overall win for the Radiant.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It looks like the Windrunner is actually transitioning to somewhat of a core hero now.
That's good. That's one of the nice things about the flexible Windrunner pick, is she can definitely rotate into that position pretty easily.
Sure. And it looks like the Radiant are going to be taking Roshan now. See, Pretty Bunny listened to me. He's probably yelling at them, go Roshan, go Roshan, go Roshan.
No, I think he's yelling push, but instead they went Roshan.
Well. Alright, they pinged out the spider again. Let's see if they're able to get him on this time. Here comes the RP. There with the finger of death and the charge.
Oof.
This actually gets the last hit, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of gold coming their way, but space created. Juggernaut is able to blink in. Not able to steal the Aegis though. Business Void on the Aegis, followed up by the Shackle Shot and the Chronosphere. That's what we like to call a double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
So things still looking good for the Radiant. They find themselves currently at a 10,000 gold lead, so keep applying pressure, keep pushing out the lane. The Faceless Void is able to farm out their jungle while the Broodmother is able to keep constant pressure up on the Dire jungle. And the Dire side has really just kind of found themselves kind of bottlenecked. And now with an Aegis disadvantage, there's really no reason for the Radiant to not push high ground here as soon as the Broodmother is back up. They did lose Chronosphere, so they got that down, and they did lose Golems. The Golems won't be up for another 100 seconds, so the Radiant should really just try to farm out, and then when all that stuff's on, go up. But Faceless Void is way out of position. Magnet Missile comes out, should be an Earth Spike here, able to time lock to avoid the Earth Spike. Magnus completely misses the Shockwave, but they're going to waste some Medusa ults on this, and I don't think they should have. Aegis is down, Magic Missile is up, Blade Fury's up, Earth Spike's up, and he's gone.
Oh boy. That was exactly what Dire needed there.
It did. I think they wasted a couple of the rolls a little bit too much. I don't think it was necessary to waste the Medusa ult there. I think they would have been just fine without it, but whatever you have to do to secure a kill. So.
Yeah, I think they were anxious just to catch out the hard carry alone.
And sure, and you know they don't know where the rest of the heroes are, so you know maybe try to stop the the Timber Saw or the Windrunner from shackle shotting and then following up with some damage there. So I mean, better safe than sorry. In the meanwhile, Juggernaut getting caught out. He's able to Blade Fury away. He finds himself in the river, but the Lion's going to be able to back him up. Missed power shot. And now we've got 4-on-2. Let's see if they try to turn this around. Broodmother is hiding up top. They do have a couple sentries, but it doesn't look like they're going to place them down. Here comes the Vengeful Spirit. She does have dust, but it doesn't look like she's going to pop it.
No, they're not really sure of the spider's position at the moment, so it's probably wise not to pop it.
They should be buying sentries right now, because anytime you try to push a power, especially with the webs up, they really should just be dropping sentries down. Okay, now they know it's here, especially as the webs just got dropped. So it looks like they're going to be able to get the charge, and one more right click, and they're able to bring down the Timber Saw. Okay, so they have to know the Broodmother's here right now. And there's the dust. They're able to catch him out. Here comes the Wave of Terror. RP used. Finger of Death. And it's a dead Broodmother. Really heads up play. Really heads up play there by Buzzme, knowing that the spider was probably there, especially after the web just got dropped and able to pick it up. Here comes a
Ooh, big chrono.
Windrunner ults, but I think she ulted the wrong target.
Uh-oh.
Skewer up, followed by a shockwave. And yeah, having a Mask of Madness up there was really not to the benefit of the Faceless Void right there. They do bring down the Vengeful Spirit. Shockwave out. Blink is going to be up in 5 seconds. But it looks like he's going to stop chasing. They need to head top lane. Warlock is using his ultimate to push. And it looks like he's going to get Omni Slashed. And that is one dead Warlock. So so when the Void Chrono speared, he initially started hitting the Vengeful Spirit, and the Windrunner she wanted to ult the Magnus. She ended up ulting the Vengeful Spirit and changed targets. Realized that the buff was gone because it only applies to the target you cast it on. Switched back to the
Right.
Vengeful Spirit, but at that point in time, the Venge was already dead, and then the Chronosphere ended, and then Magnus was able to skewer the Faceless Void all the way back into the Lion's Finger of Death. And with Mask of Menace on, it does quite a lot of damage.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, that's a tricky mechanic where Focus Fire instantly loses its buff if you change targets. So.
You retain the buff, but it only applies to the target that you cast it on. So the buff is applied, but you have to. It only applies to that target. So like you can target, like if you're sieging high ground, like you can target the tower, and then if they decide to initiate on you, then you can go do other stuff and do some right clicks and power shots and stuff like that, and then go back to the tower. In the meanwhile, Broodmother falls again. Dire have been really good about having sentries and dust and all that, and the lead that the Broodmother have is slowly dwindling as she has just fed kill or death after death after death to the Radiant side.
Oh boy.
Looks like the Timbersaw is trying to ping out to the Faceless Void and the Windrunner to get back, and it looks like the Dire are finally going to take down this tier 1 at the bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is done for.
And the Battle Fury on the Juggernaut plus in power, he is going to do a stupid amount of cleave. So he has 85% cleave damage right now, which is insane to begin with. But when you combine that with the Omni Slash and all the right clicks in,
Oh yeah, that's so mean.
if he does it next to us, like it's funny because when he waits
Oh
for the Omni
no.
Slash mid Timber Chain, here comes the Faceless Void ult, and that's going to be a dead
Oh
Juggernaut.
wow.
Getting blood on my blades.
So how did he lose that Omni Slash right there? Did he just have no targets after the Timber Chain?
Once he can only jump, like he follows the target, but if the target is to move fast enough, if it moves a certain amount of distance in between the jumps, the ult is canceled. So
Oh
he got
boy.
his first slash off, and then as he started moving, the distance that the Timbersaw covered was enough that it was outside of the range of the next jump from the Omni Slash.
Oh man.
But what I was saying earlier is, so the Broodmother had a built-in defense mechanism against Omni Slash with all of her spiders. Now, with 85% cleave damage, keep in mind that's pure.
Oh, that's right. Then he can just chop down all the hidden spiders.
So think of it this way: her physical resistance was now 50%. So if, for instance, if he was doing, we'll just go ahead and round that up to 50. So if he was doing 100 damage per right click, she was only taking 50. Now, with all those spiders, instead of taking 100% on a slice, she's now taking 85% pure damage.
Oh boy.
With that 85% cleave, he's actually doing more damage to the spider than if he were just right clicking her.
That's incredible.
Radiant's top.
Plus, anytime he engages, he gets fed all of that gold from the spider deaths.
And there's a dust.
One last top tower.
And it looks like the Vengeful, looks like they were able to secure the last hit, and they were able to get out. Oh, but it looks like they are wanting to go on this spider a little bit. Another web is dropped, down to 1 charge. Oh, she's going for this chase, but I don't think she's going to quite get there in time. She is out of the webs, and she doesn't have any more charges left. I don't know if the Dire are going to realize, here comes the stun, here comes the hex. The Lion doesn't quite have... I'm surprised right there why he didn't mana drain.
Tower could use a little help.
I think he was trying to spam right click and didn't realize he didn't have enough mana. Magnus is able to come in for the backup, and get out just got free. In the meanwhile, the Warlock was able to drop his ult, and the Juggernaut is again dead. Medusa is split pushing bottom,
Dire's mid tower.
but they're going to use these golems here to push mid.
Brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Ooh, miss skewer there, and now he finds himself caught in upheaval.
Oh
Can't walk
no.
away. They're
He's
more
trying.
the tower than they are than the Magnus.
Which I think is the right call.
Ooh, great RP there. Fortunately, he didn't have skewer to bring him back. Ooh, great hex, canceling the Timber Chain. I'm gonna right click up on the Timbersaw here. He does have another chain. Is he able to get away? No, he's not. He's able to fall.
Trouble brewing at Dyer's top ranks.
Medusa ult, but it's not going to do enough. Here comes the Chrono Spear by the Faceless Void. Magnus is coming up. He does have a blink. See if he can skewer them away. He's going to try. Nope. Faceless Void still going to try. Doesn't get it. Oh, stunned up by followed up by an Omni Slash by the. Yep, that's that pure damage going to work there on the Brood Mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lion now has Ags, so he's now going to be one-shotting spiders.
I gotta say, the Radiant had a lot of map control, but in the effort to siege high ground, I don't know. They lost a bit there to the rubber band.
Really well right there.
Yeah, he did.
That he made up for that miscued by getting a 3-man RP.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty critical to their defense there of their high ground.
And the Medusa has the Lincolns and the Manta style. So if the Orchid does get filled up by the Brood Mothers, she's going to have to waste a nuke on it first. The Juggernaut is what it looks like it's going to be an Eye of, or either an Eye of Scotty or a Manta style as well. And they found the Warlock out. There's a blink by the Magnus. Just trying to skewer, not quite finding it. Sends out a shockwave. He's going to skewer anyway, and then find himself on the low ground. He's going to have to pull back a little bit. Brood Mother anyway is going to try to defend the strip. Here comes the ulti by the Medusa. She sends out the snake waves. Extra damage done there. Void is going to pop in and times it just so that he doesn't get frozen up. He catches 3 heroes. That's 1 kill. That's 2 kills. There's an ult by the Windrunner, and that's a lot of damage coming your way. Oh no!
Oh, wow.
What a time lock. I think the judge could have waited. He was about 5 seconds away from Omni Slash being up.
Radiant's top tower's hurt.
That all started with the Magnus just chasing far too long after he wasn't able to get the skewer off. And then finding himself out of position and then getting caught. Like, he shouldn't be on the front lines. He should be letting Medusa and the Juggernaut push up, and then whenever they try to come in with a Faceless Void or anything like that, he should be able to back them up with RP. Now they're going to drop the rock and they're going to push high ground right now. There's nothing that the Bars can do about it. Juggernaut is going to buy back. But unfortunately, without another buyback from the Magnus or the Medusa, there's really not much you can do about it here. And there's the upheaval. Alright, the Magnus and the Lion are up. And there's the stun. Here comes the Omni Slash. Unfortunately, there's so many units around there, he's not going to much. There's the RP. Warlock falls and the Faceless Void falls. Swap in by the Faceless Spirit and then followed up immediately by the ult by the Lion. Really well played and coordinated right there. But in the meanwhile, Pretty Bunny's just pushing up top. Here comes the blink, skewer, brings him back in. Here comes the ult by the Medusa, right click, stun, magic missile, followed up by the air spike and the hex, and that's going to be a dead spider, which I think we can all say is a very good thing. Creeps are pushing bot lane as well. They need to come back and push that out as well.
Oh boy.
And they should transition this into a Roshan. They need to grab Roshan right now.
They definitely need something because they've kind of lost control of the map here.
They do. All their heroes are down for another 20 seconds. It should be just enough to push out the lanes, and then they should go take Roshan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Aegis basically ensures that you're either getting off an Omni Slash or a Stone Gaze.
Right.
Instead, they're trying to push down mid, which I don't really see the point in that. There's not a whole lot they can do other than just push it down a little bit further. They're pushing out the top and bottom lane as well, but now they need to regroup and they need to smoke and try to find a pick off in the jungle, or they need to go take Roshan. Meanwhile, the Radiants are going to continue to push out mid. Like, the thing is, like, they see Magnus top. They know Magnus isn't there. They don't have to be scared about an RP. Okay, looks like they're going to transition to Roshan? No. Maybe? Busby, my man.
He's thinking about it.
Radiant's top tower.
He's thinking about it.
Meanwhile, the Magnus is pushing top,
Oh, he pinged it.
creating space. So Magnus applying pressure, trying to draw away 4 heroes while the rest of his team goes and takes Roshan. Good on him for doing that, and they should be able to get this relatively clearly. Even if they beelined it for Rosh right now, they're not going to get there in time. So,
Right.
good job on him. And opts to not pick up the haste rune because he wants to move fast.
Missing bottom.
Alright, and so that's an Aegis on the Juggernaut. So I think I would have preferred it on a Medusa because if she gets caught in Chronosphere, I don't know if she is able to tank through all of that damage and able to get it off. I think the Stone Gaze is much more. It's something they need more than an Omni Slash.
That makes
'Cause
sense.
The Jug should be able to get off Omni Slash. There's a swap in, catches the number off guard. A little premature on that ult there. Oh, I really wish he hadn't wasted that. But there's the Chronosphere.
Ooh, 4-man.
He doesn't know who to go on. Looks like he's going to be able to bring down the Juggernaut, so he will at least get off his Omni Slash, that's for sure. Here comes the Golems. Golems fall so fast. RP, able to catch down the Warlock, skewers him out. And the Timber Saw. Ooh, and there's another right click. Meanwhile, the Spiders push the top. I think they have to go in and take the throne here. I don't know if they can do it. Pretty Bonus is going to farm out the top lane, so that's going to be 2 lanes of Mega Creeps. But they're at the bottom, and they don't have Mega Creeps to fight in life. They're going to go for the throne right now. They're going to see if they can end it. Do we have buyback status on the red? No, there's no buyback status on anybody but the Spiders, which is really convenient because he's the only one alive. It's going to be a base race, but the Spiders just don't do nearly enough damage between an overpowered Juggernaut who's attacking at max attack speed right now. And this is going to be a GG.
Yeah, they're going for it.
Damage. That was a really good team fight at the bottom. And in the end, I was proven wrong. They just needed to go on the Juggernaut. So, good job.
Yeah, great job, Dyer. Well played to everybody.
That Magnus is easily the MVP of the match. He had so many clutch RPs and skewers. He missed quite a few, but he had some really good ones as well.
Mm-hmm. He caught the ones when it counted.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, for the WeLikeDota Community Night. If you guys would like to play in a community night, then feel free to check us out, WeLikeDota.reddit.com. While you're at it, check out the podcast. Easily searchable on iTunes at WeLikeDota, all one word. Tugs, do you have any parting words for the audience?
See what happens when you take Roshan? Good things happen.
Well said. All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you for the next community night. We play Wednesdays and Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you all there. Thanks, Tugs.
Later guys. Thanks, Bunny.